Currently, we are closing up phase 3 of the Neubauten.org project. That means Neubauten.org, as you can hear, is a website. And through that website, we have by now made in 3 periods called phases. We did 3 different products with the help of our supporters in a kind of a subscription system. That means we have subscribers, we call them supporters, that pay a one-time fee for a record that we have not yet recorded. And we have done, in that way, we have done 3 major albums that were only given to the subscribers. And the album that we are releasing to the public right now is basically a condensed version of what we have given to the supporters. The supporters got a 80-minute album, and we're going to bring out a 60-minute album for the public. So that they actually get a DVD, and they got a monthly download of still another song. So they basically got 2 albums, 2.5 albums, and we're releasing 1 album to the public. For us, it's absolutely necessary. We are still a poor band, and as we are still working in a fairly traditional way, in a sense that we are still working as a band, playing together most of the time in the same room even, and at the same time. And that means we are still doing, of any piece we're doing, as a take 1, a take 2, and so on, and we're working on it, we're putting overdubs on it, etc. That costs time, space, and money. It is not that we are just, if somebody is sitting there with a producer and moves little colored dots on the computer from the left to the right to create a drum track. That's not what we're doing. We're actually still working with in the physical world with actually existing materials. And we're not even working with click track. We're actually playing the stuff free. And yeah, that costs a lot of money, and that is this way of working. You have to imagine, the ones that are seeing this now, you have to imagine that this sounds like it would be the most normal thing in the world. But anyone working in the music business or being a musician will tell you that this is rather the exception nowadays. Nobody does make music like that anymore, or very few people that do that. And there is simply an economical reason for that. Music becomes, or the majority of what you can get and buy, etc., is not going to be produced that way anymore. And the more independent and the more down in the food chain you will get there, the less people will be able to do anything like that at all, because they simply cannot afford it. That's why you actually, if you want to end up with some black figures there in the independent market, you're much better off doing electronic and being alone in your garage and doing it with either with GarageLand or a simple Pro Tools system or whatever. Not that that we're working with Pro Tools too, but that is a matter of recording. But you can, that is okay. Do some nice electronic music and do it with Reactor and native instruments, and then you probably have a chance to actually see some money in the end of the day. But if you want to work with the colossus of a band, meaning like 5 or 6 people that actually spend their time in a recording studio, if you would do that in a recording, we have been in the phase 1 of Neubauten.org, we have built a studio. From the money that we got, we actually built our own studio, and that gave us the possibility to actually do this. If we would have done the way we recorded this record, I don't know, it ends up to be 120, 150 days in a studio. If I would have done that in a studio that I have to rent, no way. There's no way you're ever at the end of the day ever going to see any money. And with the money I get from a record company nowadays for an act like Neubauten, it comes close to the budget I used to have to make the recording cover. So there's no way. It's not really that we're trying to be avant-gardistic in the way that we make the records in financing the record, or that we are looking for a great interaction with the fans or anything. That's not the reason why we do that. It's simply we have to find a way how we can actually make these records and how we actually are able to finance them and actually do them. And I can't do it with a record company. Simply the first time that we did this, we made a record and sent it to the supporters, and half of that record plus other material ended up to be a record for mute records called Perpetuum mobile, the last record that we have given to the public. Nobody was happy. The supporters were not happy because they got, they felt that they have to buy a Perpetuum mobile 2 to get everything. And the record companies blamed us for having sent half of the materials already out to other people. There's no logic in that, but well, they didn't like that. So the next time we just did a record for the supporters. And what you miss then is you don't have enough public. You want to go on tour, it's necessary that the record is in the shops. It's very much still a dilemma for us. So this time we made a bigger record and a smaller record. And record company wouldn't like it. The record company would say, no, we don't want that record because you've sent it out to the supporters. So what am I going to do?